This says that if you don't know what you're doing, you can lose your money. All right, and I start with that not to insult anybody's intelligence, because I think you know that ahead of time. But the fact of the matter is, this is serious business. All right, and I want to let you know that I take it very seriously, and my goal again is to make sure that you do know what you're doing by the time we're finished. All right. The other thing this says, though, that's also important is that I'm not a commodities trading advisor, a CTA. What that means is no matter what I show you, no matter how well it works, I can't trade your money for you. Okay, you're always going to be in charge. You're always going to be the one that's pushing the button. And the goal is for you to have clarity and confidence so when the time is right, you can push the button. All right, we got to take a base of knowledge and be able to turn it into action, because the only way to make money is by actually doing it. All right, a lot of people do the book learning and so forth, and we'll do a little of that. All right, but my goal is to get you prepared to be in a live trading room, all right, with one of the master traders in the Forex, and I'm excited to introduce him just very quickly. This is Josh Martinez, okay, and you may have heard of Josh if you've been around the Forex community at all. He's been on all the channels, CNN, Fox Business, CNBC. He's been in all the trading magazines and publications. In fact, if you picked up a copy of Stocks and Commodities magazine, mine just hit my mailbox day before yesterday, and I look in it, of course, Josh has an article in there. All right. Not only is he well published, but the reason people want to read his stuff is because of his track record. In fact, over the last year, 7 predictions in a row that he has created for individual traders off of his formula have all been profitable to the tune of 38,000 pips. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you were a trader, all right, trading currencies with Josh, side by side, trading his recommendations, and you were trading for $1 a pip, well, over the last year, you'd have made yourself $38,000. Now, that's not all the money in the world, and I get that. Okay, but the fact of the matter is that would amount to what? About an extra $3,000–4,000 a month, all right, from this market. Not using a whole lot of your capital, not spending a whole lot of your time doing it. So if that's the kind of thing that you hope to glean from this, the ability to make an extra $3,000–4,000 a month, you came to the right place. All right, I'm not going to be able to give you the Millionaire by Friday talk. I apologize. I just don't think that's what this is. Okay, but if you understand formula and you understand how to follow it, all right, you can also trade his latest recommendation. Now, he's calling it the pound breakout, and I kind of want you to write that down, because tonight at 7 o'clock, he's going to walk you through, all right, an opportunity that's set to yield between 7 and 13,000 of those pips. So if you split the difference, that's a 10,000 pip or $10,000 conversation. So if you want to have that, all right, at the end, all right, you're going to let me know, all right, and I'll reserve a space for you in his room. In fact, I'll make sure that he previews this for you so you have that as a strong takeaway, all right, and I know that you set this time aside to be here today, so I want to make sure that you have a bunch of strong takeaways. Look, here's another one, all right, his Facebook page, all right, why don't you go ahead and jot that down, because it probably behoove you, right, to be a friend of his on Facebook. He constantly provides updates and information, and if you have any interest in being a Forex trader at all, that's another good resource. Okay, now I'm moving quickly because we've only been here for 4 minutes, and I've said pips, and I've said pound, and master trader, and so forth, and some of you might be brand new to this, and some of you might just flat out be brand new to the Forex market. It's okay, all right? Over the next hour, I'm going to make sure that I give you the tools, all right, and an understanding of this market so that you're prepared to be in that room with Josh. All right, so you're prepared to not just listen to an opportunity, but to be able to take advantage of it. So we got a little bit of work to do, but I'm pretty confident I can do it with you. All right, here's our agenda. I'm going to give you a quick intro to our group, all right, and by the time we're done, all right, you're going to flat out know more about making money in the Forex market than 99% of the people on the planet. All right, and I'm going to go live in the market. Why? Because that's always the best way to learn. Okay, anybody can teach you books and theory, okay, but the fact of the matter is you need to see that in application. So I figure that's the best way to show it to you. Market's open. Let's just go do it, okay? I'll show you where and why you're going to get into a trade, right? I'll show you where and why you'll get out of a trade, and I'll repeat that opportunity to you. And at the end of this, if it makes sense to you, right, if you think you can do it, if it looks mechanically pretty simple, what have you, then you can give yourself a shot at it, all right? But here's what I know. All right, your steps to success in this market are pretty simple. You got to have a formula, okay? And that's a word I'm hoping you write down, because success is not a fantasy, Okay, that's something we say around here a lot. Success is not a secret. I get so tired of that. All right, people host their session, the secret to trading. That's all nonsense. All right, trading's not a secret. It's a series of steps. All right, repeatable things that you'll do over and over again that keep on leading you to success. I'm going to show you a formula for trading today, and like I said, I'll show it to you live, and I'm going to use a piece of software. All right, I'm going to use our proprietary piece so that you have clarity when it comes to the market. And that's really where I need you to pay the most attention, because I'm going to show you what all the buttons do on that software. And at the end, if you want to give it a shot, want to try it out for 60 days, I'll let you do that before you have to make a final decision on whether you want to keep it or not. I want you to be able to see that it works right on your laptop. Okay? And again, preparation's the key. All right? I want you prepared to be in that room tonight at 7. And I really just want you to be prepared to trade this market live, okay? And no, I'm not going to be able to show you everything, but I will be able to show you what you need to know in this market to be able to get started today, right? To add this one to your portfolio. And here's the best part, right? Anything I show you today that you can react to and respond to. And there will be a lot of things, all right? And I'm going to check in with you regularly. But here's the key. Anything I show you today, you're going to be able to take advantage of risk-free to you financially, all right? Renee already introduced me, all right? That's my smiling face. I'm Joe Cavallaro. Been trading markets since I graduated college, all right, back in 1994. Traded them all. Been licensed in all of them, stock, options, commodities, futures, and Forex. All right, I've been a principal at a couple of firms. I've traded the big accounts for those firms. I've managed a few trading desks. Now, why would that be important to you? Well, here's why. 2 reasons. Number one, right here at the top, look at, I know the difference between the markets, okay? And here's what I'm going to tell you. You can make money at all of them. All right, that just makes sense. If somebody said to you, you can make money in the stock market, of course you can, right? You can make money in the options market, of course you can. So why would you want to even look at the Forex market? Here's why. Because this market is going to give you, the trader, the person, especially the new person that wants to trade from home, this market's going to give you every available advantage when it comes to trading. And we're going to talk about those advantages so you can see them. All right, by the time we're done, you're going to say to yourself, well, mechanically I can do that because it's pretty easy. All right, but when you see the advantages, you know what you're probably going to say? You know, I probably should be trading that market. Okay, and the other thing that's important is right here. All right, I've managed trading desks of 10, 15, 25 traders at a time. And as a trading manager, my job was pretty simple. Okay, every day that I came in the office, I had to make sure every one of the traders on my desk was profitable. Right, that they had the formulas, the tools, the resources, the money management, right, the downside protection, so that when their profit statement came out at the end of the week or the end of the month, it had some green on it. Okay, this is something that I've done, right? And today I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to act as if right now, by coming into this webinar, what you really did was you just sat down on my trading desk. All right, and over the next hour, I'm going to give you the tools and resources you need to be successful. All right, now that we're all here. Okay, and how many do we have here? Wow, it's a big group, a little over 200 of you. Very exciting for me. All right, I'm coming to you from the Market Traders Institute. I'm in Orlando, all right, and we have been doing this, training new students to trade the Forex market for the last 23 years. All right, at this point, worldwide, more than 33,000 people have come through our program. Right, we've been on all the channels, CNN and Fox Business and so forth. We're in Inc. magazine the last 2 years. Now, what do they say about us? Right, they talk about us at the same time they talk about Microsoft. Right now, how did we get there? Because that's kind of exciting. Let me explain. All right, it's all about results, and that's really a word I want you to write down because that's what I'm going to concentrate on. All right, when we talk about markets, all right, it's a results-driven business, and we measure results in the market one way, in dollars. Okay, do you have more of those than when you started? That's the result that you're looking for. Well, when you get that result, what's going to happen? Just naturally, you're going to be excited about it. You're going to tell a couple friends of yours. All right, then they get a result. They tell a couple friends of theirs. They come to us. We can help them too. All right, it's just an equal equation, and it's all built on results. So that's really something I want you to concentrate on today because everything else really is just conversation. Okay, now it's actually a little bit bigger, just very quickly, than Inc. magazine. I don't know how many of you have seen the Shark Tank TV show. I bet most of you have. All right, this is where the millionaires get together and they evaluate business ideas and they decide if they want to get involved. Well, the guy on the left, that's Kevin Harrington. He saw exactly what I'm going to show you here today. All right, not only that, but he came into our offices and worked with our CEO, all right, Josh Martinez. Some of you know who that is. That's the chief, right? He came in here, saw the results that we're getting for our clients, people like you that are trading from home with our method, all right? And he said, you know what, I'm going to get involved. So that's the kind of association that you'd have, right, being with a part of our group. All right, and since I mentioned him, let me just do one last introduction so you know who's in charge around here. All right, that is the chief. All right, some of you know him, you've seen him before. Some of you might have read his Forex trading book. Long story short, okay, here's a guy that made himself a couple of $1 million trading the Forex market because he found a formula. All right, the neatest part about our visit here over the next hour, I'm going to show you the formula. Okay, and you're going to have that as your strongest takeaway. So let's get the ball rolling, because what did I say? Let's shift gears a little bit, because when we're talking about the Forex market, we're talking about the market that gives you, the trader, the most advantages. Well, here's 4 of them: liquidity, flexibility, size, and simplicity. Let's talk for a minute. Okay, liquidity, what is that? That's your ability to move in and out of the market quickly. All right, it's your ability to buy and sell. Okay, well, in this market, you have a 24-hour market that trades $5 trillion every day, right? There's always a buyer, there's always a seller. The market trades through every price, okay? And you can get in or out in 1 second or less. Why is that important? Lowers your risk, okay? A market that you can move in and out of freely, right, lowers your risk. All right, that's going to be a major importance to you when it comes to trading the Forex. But the fact that the market's open 24 hours means it's also going to be flexible enough for you to be able to trade it without turning your life upside down. All right, a lot of people want to trade markets, but they have to adjust to their time. Stock market opens 9:30, closes at 4. You got to adjust to that. Okay, this market, no matter when you want to trade it, and no matter where you are, you come home from work, I don't care what time zone you're in. Okay, when you pop open your computer, right, and turn on the Forex market, it's going to be there for you to trade in. So a lot of traders are coming to this market because of that flexibility. But the fact of the matter is, gang, that lowers your risk also. How do you figure? Well, if the market's open round the clock, right, just think about markets that aren't, right? Let's just take a stock example, all right? If I own 100 shares of Apple at 117, okay, and the bell rings on the stock exchange, all right, Apple announces their earnings when? After the bell. Now, if they don't sell enough iPhones, what happens to the stock? It drops from 117 down to 102, right? And what can I do about it? Nothing until the market opens the next day, and by then it's already too late. Okay? In this market, you can move in and out freely and round the clock. That's going to lower your risk. That makes it awesome. My favorite part of it is the size, though. $5 trillion a day. You know what this is? This is what I call the big pile of money, okay? Everybody's wondering, where's that big pile of money? Is it over here, right? Everybody's been looking for it. Well, you found it, right? This is the currency market. This is all the money in the world, okay? You found the big pile of money. Now, what your job, now that you're standing next to it, is to reach into that pile, right? Grab out a handful every day or week or month and start building your own pile. And the beauty of this market, gang, if you're brand new, don't worry about it, because this market is super simple to learn. You don't have to learn 400 or 500 companies to be good at it. You don't have to learn some fancy new vocabulary. If you know your major currencies, all right, you're about 90% of the way there. Now, if you don't know them, go ahead and jot them down, because this is what you're going to be trading. The US dollar, of course, okay? Then the Canadian and the euro, the pound and the yen, the franc, the Aussie, and the Kiwi, all right? If you know your major currencies, you're 90% of the way there, because 90% of the time, that is what you're going to be trading. Okay? Now, understand, currencies trade in pairs. Okay? We always trade one currency against the other. And every time we see a currency pair, it's followed by an exchange rate. Now, you're probably familiar with that already. Okay? You've been traveling, you've been to the bank, right? There's a currency exchange booth at the airport, right? You know immediately, if you walked up to the person at the exchange booth, right, exactly what this information means. You could hand them over €1, right? And what's going to come back to you? Well, US dollars at the going rate, right? You hand over a euro, they'll hand you back about $1.06 US. Now, if you understand that, you're very close, because all we're going to do as traders in this market is trade exchange rates for profit. That's it. We trade exchange rates for profit. And whether they go up or they go down, we can make money in either direction. All right, now most people, average person, thinks about exchange rate just in terms of dollars and cents. Here's where you're going to be a little different as a trader. You're going to look a little further to the right to these last two decimal places. We call those the pips. Okay, you got to jot that down. All right, you heard me use the term before. Pips stands for price, interest, point. Tiny little moves in the exchange rate are what we as traders are looking to capture. All right, we're looking to capture as many pips as possible, because understand, exchange rates do not move dollars at a time. They do not move cents at a time. They move over here, pips at a time. So we're going to look to capture pips. All right, and here, I'll give you a quick example. All right, just think of it like a seesaw. If I got the euro and the US dollar and it's trading at 106.25, okay, during the course of the day, I might have a strong euro or a weak dollar. In that case, what's going to happen to my seesaw? It's going to move it, right? It'll be reflected by a move in the exchange rate. In this case, it'll move higher. Okay, so if I should go, like this example, from 106.25 up to 106.95, that is a difference of 70 pips. You see that? There they are, at the third and fourth decimal place. Okay, so now you know where to find them. So how do you capture them? Well, it's going to be just like you did in your stock account or your options account. You're going to open up a Forex trading account. All right, you're going to open that up with a broker. Now, we're not a broker. We're not going to hold any of your money. Okay, you're going to open up a Forex trading account, though, the same way you did with E-Trade or Ameritrade. You're going to go to a website like Forex.com. All right, that's a broker. Or Oanda, that's another broker. Interactive Brokers. All right, you're going to open up a Forex trading account, and what are you going to do in there? To capture the pips, same thing any trader would do. You buy low and you sell high. Okay? You buy low, you sell high, you follow your formula, right? You protect your downside, and this is a repeatable exercise. Okay? Now, that being said, right, this repeatable exercise to collect pips, right, you can have a whole bucket of pips, but you can't pay your bills with pips. Right? You can walk into the bank to pay your mortgage, but if all you got with you is pips, that's not going to do you any good. You got to turn your pips into dollars. How do you do that? Let me show you. Okay, this is really where you come in, because as a trader, right, you're going to be making a lot of decisions. Okay, here's the first one. You're going to make trades based on how confident you are. All right, how confident you are is going to determine two things: how much money you put into a trade and how much profit you take out. All right, and take good notes, because this is where the money is. All right, somebody just asked me, how much money do you need to trade? All right, you got some options. Okay, you can trade in this market a micro lot, a mini lot, or a standard lot. All right, write that down: micro lot, mini lot, or standard lot. Now, if you trade with a micro lot, all right, how much do you need there? You're looking at a $20 investment. Okay, $20. Can you really trade with $20? Well, in this market, you can. Right? In the stock market, $20 doesn't do you any good. Okay, you can buy one share of CVS, right, or something like that, hope for the best. But in this market, it allows you to trade a micro lot. And what that is really is one of the beautiful things about the Forex. It doesn't require a lot of capital to start trading. Okay, you can start small, grow your account over time. And I know everybody that's listening to me, okay, has $20. That means you can get started. All right, and look, most of you have more than that. All right, most of you have 20,000. All right, or you got 200,000 in your IRA. Good, leave it there. Okay, you will not need it here, because this is not a capital-intensive market. As a matter of fact, you know what? If you're going to do this and you're new, I want you to start small. Okay, I want you to start small and make sure you know what you're doing. That's the right thing to do. All right, make sure your formula is good. Make sure, right, your mechanics are good before you go risking larger amounts. But what's going to happen naturally, okay, is once you see that you can do it with a small amount, then you can step it out a little bit. All right, you'll trade mini lots. Now, how much do you need for that? $200. Okay, $200 lets you trade a mini lot of currency. And then again, very organically, right, you're going to make sure that your formula works, and pretty soon you'll step it up, and I want you to circle this one on your paper, because this is where you want to be. You want to be trading standard lots of currency. All right, how much do you need for that? $2,000. All right, so I don't know where you fit on this grid. You've probably already sort of figured out where you personally fit, and that's fine. But what I'm going to tell you is you got 20 bucks, right, you can trade this market. Now, what does it all mean in terms of dollars, in terms of profit? Well, let's talk for a minute. All right, if you trade micro lots, and yes, I am moving quickly, I have to, because if I'm going to turn you into traders in an hour, I got to keep going with the information. All right, when you trade micro lots, each of the pips is going to be worth 10 cents. Write that down, 10 cents. Okay, so on the trade you did a second ago on the euro, what would you make? 70 pips, right? 70 pips times 10 cents would be $7 on a $20 investment. All right, what is that? 35%. That's a nice percentage. Okay, it's not a lot of money, right? $7. What can you do? You can buy a sandwich with that. Okay, but 35%, if that's a repeatable exercise, right, and you can start leveraging that, right, getting a little rollover, right, all I'm telling you is you're not going to be trading small for very long. Okay, then you can trade mini lots. Now, if you do that, at this point, each of the pips will be worth $1. Okay, the trade will remain the same. Right? It's going to be the same trade, the same 70 pips, but because you started with a little more, all right, you get to take out something a little bit more substantial, $70 in this case. Right? And I know you already did the math on the last one, right? When you trade standard lots, if you haven't circled it, you better, because this is really where you want to be, right? Trading for $10 a pip, right? Because 70 pips times $10, now we're talking about something meaningful, right? $700 on a $2,000 investment. And I know what you're thinking, right? Yeah, that sounds like a good number, and I can get a lot of bang for my buck, it appears, but how often does that happen? It's a good question, right? The answer is in every currency, every day, okay? And I'll show it to you. We'll go live, and I'll show it to you. All right, your other question, well, what's the downside? Anybody can tell me about the upside. Of course, I got to talk about how you're going to protect yourself. All right, this is a risk-reward equation, okay, and I'm going to show you that too. I have to, right, because if I just sit here for an hour and throw your money against the wall and hope it sticks, that's a waste of time for everybody. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you this thing from A to Z. But the fact of the matter is, now that you know how the math works, I want you just to think of a goal. Okay, think of a goal that you want to make from this, right, on a monthly basis, right? If you're adding this to your stock and options trading portfolio, a little diversification, maybe you can add $500 profit a month, great, that's a goal, okay? Some of you want to make $2,000, $3,000 a month. I showed you a minute ago, $3,000, $4,000 a month, right? Some of you, if I can show you how to make $20,000 a month, you're ready to listen to that. The only thing I'm going to tell you is this, all right? You'll see how the math works. All right, you'll see how it works with the pips and so forth. It's going to become very clear. But the one thing I have to emphasize to all of you is that you're going to have to spend probably about 30 to 45 minutes a day on this if you want to master it. Okay? I'm going to show you something that works, and you're going to be the judge of that. Okay? But what I'm going to tell you is you're still going to have to spend the time doing it, all right, if you want to make the money. We got to make sure we translate knowledge into action. If that makes sense, can you do me a favor? Can you type yes in the chat box? If you're following along up to this point, can you type something affirmative, yes, or keep going, or something like that? I'm going to get a sip of water. Good, thank you. Thank you for that, right? Nick and Paul and Rob, thank you for that. Oscar, right? Morgan, appreciate that. Rich, Walt, thank you. Yes, let's keep going, right? Joe, Ken, Jim, right? And when you type something, look at, I can see your answers. See that? So when you say, Anna, absolutely, right, or Joe, right, I can see that you're following along, and I'm going to be able to gauge your progress on this. All right, let's do something here together. Let me make sure you got these awesome takeaways. And if anything, right, when we're going through this, if you say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to give that a shot. All right, what I want you to do is give me a way to reach you after we break. Okay, because we'll go through this, and if you say to yourself, I want to give that a shot anytime I'm going through this, just in that same chat box, and I won't show it to anybody, but type a good phone number, all right, so that at the end, right, I can reach out to you, answer your questions, tell you more about our group and so forth, and see if it's a good fit for you. You don't have to do that now if you don't want to, but if anytime I'm going through this, you say, you know what, I want to see if I can work with that group, all right, just type a number so I can reach you, all right, and then we'll be able to have that conversation. But we're going to go live now because I got to sort of show you the star of the show. This is our proprietary piece, okay? This is what we call ultimate charting software. You see that? This is our proprietary tool, all right? We've got a couple $1 million invested in the development of this, and every trader that works with our group worldwide has this on their desk, okay? All the traders here, the Chief and Josh and Tyson and me and Kevin Harrington, all right, we have it on our desk too, so that when we all get together in the trading room, we're all looking at the same thing. All right, now this software is super valuable. Why? Because it answers the three main questions every trader has to answer. What are those? Well, first one is which way are we going? Okay, we got to know our direction. This will tell you. Okay, we going up, we going down? That's major. Well, then what are the other two questions? Well, where do we get in and where do we get out? All right, and I'm going to go ahead and show you this right here. I'm going to use the New Zealand dollar on the one-day chart. Okay, the three main questions, like I said, right, are direction, okay, entry, and exit. Okay, this shows you all three of them. All right, now, one thing I have to have you understand, okay, is that the Forex market is different than any other market because it repeats itself. Okay, this market, and I want you to write this in your notes, does the same things, okay, over and over and over again. Okay, that repetition is what makes the whole thing work. It's what makes the formula work. All right, this market develops patterns. Now we're going to read the patterns on the chart using these blue and white candlesticks. Now I got to believe most of you have seen a candlestick chart before. Okay, so I'm not going to go into a big discussion about candlesticks. I'm just going to keep it simple. All right, on a chart, when you see blue candlesticks, okay, means the market's going down. When you see white candlesticks, means the market's going up. Okay, and what I want you to notice right away is the market never goes straight down or straight up. It always moves in waves. All right, it moves in patterns. Well, on the chart, I want to look at a couple patterns. I'm going to call them A, B, C, D. Write that down if you would. All right, I'm going to make it bold type because the Forex market always moves in A, B, C, D patterns. Let me show you how it works. All right, I'll start over here on the left where the market starts at a high price. All right, I'm going to call that letter A. What happens? Immediately the market tails off to a low price. Okay, I'm going to call that letter B. What happens there? The market stops going down, right, and it rallies up to a high price. I'm going to call that letter C before what? The market fades away down to a low price, so I'm going to call that letter D. Okay, so you got A, B, C, D. Here's what you need to know. Built into this program, there is a tool that can read the patterns. All right, what it does is it takes two measurements from A to B and from B to C. And with those two measurements, okay, it can tell you where letter D is. Now, if you're not too impressed with that, it's okay. Neither was I, right? The chief was showing me this, and I said, say that again. It takes the measurement from A to B and B to C, and it can tell me where D is. Well, that's not that big a deal, Chief, because I can see letter D. It's right there. And he laughed about it for a minute, and he said, okay, what if, though, right, the market moved in those A, B, C, D patterns over and over and over again, right? And where the old one finished, a new one started, right? And it worked the same way, right, in a down market as an up market. I said, well, what are you talking about? He said, Joe, what if we started at a low price A, moved to a high price B, okay, faded back down to a low price C, okay, and we took those measurements. What if the program, right, could take those measurements from A to B and B to C and tell you where letter D was before it happened? Now that's a different conversation. And I looked at him and I said, can it do that? He said, do you think it'll help you? I said, of course. That's what everybody's looking for. You're telling me this program can tell me which way the market's going next. He said, it'll do you one better. It'll tell you how far it's going to go. Do you think that's going to help you? I said, Chief, that would help anybody. He said, do you think you could make money with that? I said, of course I could make money with it. And he said, well, let me show it to you because it's built in here. All right, so I'm going to show you exactly what the Chief showed me. It's called, write this in your notes, all right, the Fibonacci tool. This tool that's built into the program is called the Fibonacci tool. Write that down. All right, it's based on something called the Fibonacci sequence. Now, some of you are familiar with this. All right, for the rest of you, let me get you up to speed. All right, what's a Fibonacci? Well, it's actually who. All right, who's Fibonacci? There he is. All right, Fibonacci was an Italian mathematician. Give you a little background on this. Okay, Fibonacci was an Italian mathematician. He's very famous for two reasons. All right, the first one is he discovered, right, that everything in nature follows a natural and, my favorite word, predictable pattern. Okay? He was famous for discovering that everything in nature follows a natural and predictable pattern. But he's more famous for discovering a sequence of numbers that can measure all of it. Okay? It's called the Fibonacci sequence. If you've never heard of this or you're not familiar with it, when we're done, I want you to Google it. All right? Read up on this. It's fascinating stuff, and it's the foundation of everything you're about to see. All right? I'm going to give you an example of how this works. You see this fish? See that fish? If I asked you right now how many scales are on that fish, you could try to count them all one at a time. But do you realize that that is a natural and predictable pattern? If you put the Fibonacci sequence on this fish, it will tell you exactly how many scales are on it. Because why? It's a natural and predictable pattern. Okay? Same thing with this sunflower. You see this? Do you know how many petals are on the sunflower? That's not a random number. Okay? This is a natural and predictable pattern. And if you put the Fibonacci sequence on the sunflower, it will tell you exactly how many petals are on it. We use this thing on everything. We use it on architecture. That's a Fibonacci sequence. All right? We use it on the human body. Most of you have seen this diagram before. Okay? This is the Fibonacci sequence. It measures our symmetry, the length of our arms versus the length of our legs. Look at the shape of your ear, gang, is a Fibonacci sequence. Okay? And it works because everything follows a natural and predictable pattern. Well, that's all great and interesting. What does it have to do with the Forex market? I'm going to tell you. Okay? The chief said to himself, hold on a minute. The Forex market obviously follows patterns. What if they are natural and predictable? What if we take this Fibonacci thing and plug it in here and it works? This was his thought process. He said if it works, we could make a ton of money. Well, that's what he set out to do. And it turns out, gang, he was onto something. Because the Forex indeed follows a natural and predictable pattern, and all you've got to do to measure it is use the tool that's built into the program. All you really have to do is when you look at a chart, okay, you've got to be able to identify high prices and low prices, okay, and give them a label. All right, high prices and low prices. Best way to find them is to look for what we call U-turns. Write that down, U-turns. Okay, every time you see a U-turn, all right, on the chart, which is basically the shape of the letter U, the very bottom of it is going to be a low price. Okay, anytime you see an upside down letter U, right, the top of it's going to be a high price. So if you can spot the U-turns, okay, you can spot the low prices and the high prices. And if you're following me so far, do me a favor. If you can spot the U-turns, and I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, I've got new people here, okay? I just want to make sure you're following along. So if you can spot the U-turns, type the letter U in the chat box so I can move on from this point. Okay? Just let me make sure that you're all following. Gives me a chance to get a sip of water. Have you got it? Pretty easy, right? Have you got it? Letter U, letter U, letter U. Okay, that's most of you, and that's fine. I'm going to keep moving on. All right? So once you spot the low prices and the high prices, here's what you're going to do. All right? You're going to break out with the Fibonacci tool. Now, where is it? The Fibonacci tool is up here, okay, behind this square. Thank you, guys. I can see it. All right, Ken, I got your question. Let me get to it. Nelson, Cheryl, Joe, I see that you answered me. Julie and Anna, thank you for that, okay? My serious people are all following along. All right, you're going to be able to measure the pattern using a tool that's right behind this square in the toolbar. Okay, now pay close attention because I'm going to show you what all the buttons do. And like I said, at the end, I'll give you a shot to try this out for 60 days, all right, before you have to make any kind of decision if you want to keep it, right? You'll be able to see that it works. So pay close attention to this because you got to know which button to push, all right? Once you click on this square, right behind it are Fibonacci tools. Okay, you click on that, and the first thing you see is the MTI Fibonacci retracement tool. All right, when you click it, watch what happens to your cursor. It turns into a pen. Okay, all I want you to do is take your pen and draw a line from A to B. Okay, from high price to low price. And what happens automatically is the Fibonacci sequence appears right on your desk. All right, there it is. It is color-coded, sort of looks like a step ladder. All right, what is it doing? It's measuring the first leg of the pattern, all right? This downward push from A to B. But what happens when we get to B? When we get to B, the market stops going down, all right? And it actually retraces. It rallies all the way up here to a high price, all right? What I need you to notice, all right, We're going to call that high price letter C. That just makes sense, right? High price A, low price B. The next one is high price C. And what I need you to notice is how that high price lines up with one of these Fibonacci numbers. You see that? That's going to be significant. Why? Because some people call these energy levels. You know what I call them? I call them trampolines. Trampolines. Okay? Each of these Fibonacci numbers acts like a trampoline. Okay? And if the market comes up to one of those trampolines, right, and bounces off of it, what's going to happen? Well, just like when you jump on a trampoline, right, as soon as you jump on it, you go bouncing in the other direction, okay? The same thing is going to happen here. When the market hits that Fibonacci number, right, that high price, it bounces off the trampoline and it starts moving down in the other direction. So you know which way the market is going. This market is going down. And if that's all you got out of this tool is knowing which direction you are going, right, that would be that'd be a massive advantage to you as a trader. But here's the beauty of the tool, okay? Not only do you know which way the market's going, but this tool will also tell you how far it's going to go. All you have to do is match the color. What do I mean? Well, you're going to be looking for letter C. That's going to be the key, all right? And you're going to figure out which of these trampolines it lines up with. Now, if it lines up with the red one, what that means is the market is going to continue going down, and it won't stop till it hits this red line sometime in the future, okay? That's where the market is going, if this works. Now, you can see that it works because look what happened. The market went from that red line to this red price in the future. And it completed the sequence, A, B, C. Guess what? The end of that sequence is letter D. So you found it, okay? And that shows you that the Fibonacci sequence in that instance worked, okay? So there it is, and you can see it, but big deal, right? Because you couldn't make any money off of that. All you could do was see that the sequence finished, A, B, C, D. So what happens when one sequence finishes? Well, the next one begins right there. Okay, and now in this particular case, what happened? Well, we started moving in the other direction. Now we found A, and we found B, and we found C. All right, what haven't we found yet? Well, we haven't found letter D. Well, if this works, right, the way that I'm telling you it does, we should be able to find letter D pretty quickly by doing the same thing we did a second ago. Okay, I'm going to come up here to my toolbar. I'm going to get out my Fibonacci retracement tool. Okay. What am I going to do? I'm going to draw that same line from A to B. Now look what happens. All right, I've got, let me make sure it's accurate. I've got A to B. The market has moved up. Okay, but what happened when we got to B? The market pulled back. All right, you see that we've pulled back down here to a low price, and what's happened? The market has made a U-turn. Okay, which means that low price that lines up with the red trampoline, right, is going to show us the way to where we're going next. All right, we bounce off a red trampoline. Where are we going? If this works, we're going all the way up here to this red line in the future. So we found letter D. It hasn't happened yet, so I'm going to label it future D. Okay, future D. Now, somebody just said, well, what if it bounced off the blue trampoline? That's a good question. Here, let me show you. Okay, because that's really how the tool works. Letter C, the bottom of that U-turn, is going to be the key. All right, it's possible, and we'll probably see an example of this later, okay, that when the market pulls back, it pulls back lower before it makes a U-turn. Well, if that's the case, all right, you'd have to still match the color because that's how the tool works. In that case, if C is down here at the blue line, the market would still bounce, but it would only bounce to the blue line. You see that? It wouldn't bounce quite as high. Same thing here. That's how the Fibonacci works, right? If we bounce down to the green trampoline, all right, it would be the same thing. It would still bounce higher, but it would only bounce to the green line. So based on where letter C is, right, you're going to determine where letter D is. But the fact of the matter is, gang, all right, if you can do that, you can see where letter D is. Now, before we go a step further, let's put some numbers on this just to see if this is even going to be worth your time, okay? Because I'm telling you, the market's going from here to there, right? What does that mean? Well, that means this is your profit opportunity. All right, if this works, that's where we're going. So where are we right now? Well, if I click on the candle, right, the closing price at the top of the candle, 71.82. Let me put that on the screen. 0.7182, that's where we are. Okay, now where are we going? Well, according to this, right, the Fibonacci sequence will tell you exactly where you're going, right down to the last pip. You see that, 74.02? That's the red line. That's where we're going. Again, if this works, okay, 0.7402. So let me get a calculator out very quickly. All right, if I'm going to 7402 and I'm at 7182, that's a difference of, yeah, let me make sure to hit the decimal point. Try it again. If I'm at 7402 and I'm going to 7182, that's a difference of, how come I can't get this right? Clear that out. 7402, 7182. Enter. There it is, 220 pips. Okay? Now this is where you're going to have to make a decision or two. All right, let me clear this out. Hold on a second. Reset. All right, I need a little room to type here. So I'm counting on the fact that you wrote all that already. All right, and what we're looking at here is what? A 220 pip opportunity. Now I know this is your first time. Okay, I mean, I showed you that it worked once. I don't know how confident you'd be with that, but let's just say you had an opportunity to make some money here. You're going to decide if you're going to trade a micro lot, so that's a $20 trade. Okay, if you make the 220 pips, you're going to make $22. Okay, if you did a mini lot, okay, that's $1 a pip. Remember that? You got that in your notes? If this works, that'd be a $220 trade. And if you did a standard lot, right, that's where I told you want to be, $10 a pip, this becomes a $2,000 conversation. All right, no matter how you slice it, though, it's 110%. Okay, 110% on your money if this works. Okay, now I know that's a bigger number than you're used to. Why? Because your mutual funds, you make 9% a year, right? 110% seems like a pretty big number, right? And you're wondering if it's real. Well, the best way to find out if it's real is go forward in time. Because watch what happens. Not only does the market bounce off that trampoline, okay, but it continues to go up. Now, it doesn't go straight up. Why? Because the market never goes straight up, right? We wish it would, but it makes higher lows, it makes higher highs until what? Until it kisses that red trampoline and completes the sequence. You see that? A, B, C, D, D, red to red, A, B, C, D completes the sequence. So now that's not future D, that's reality. A, B, C, D, and how'd you do? Well, if you traded one lot, you made yourself $2,200. But wait, you skipped a step. What's the step? Well, if you bought here, right, hold on, if you bought here, okay, and you're up 22 or 220 pips, but that's the end of the sequence, guess what it's time to do? It's time to sell here, okay? Because that's where you're going to close your trade. Why? Because as soon as it completes a sequence, it's going to start another one. You see, if you didn't have this tool, what just happened to you? You gave away all of your profit because you didn't know that the sequence was over. Okay? But when you understand Fibonacci's, especially in this market, because that's what moves this market, every currency, every time frame, okay, this is how it works. So now you have a pretty darn good indication, all right, and a clear indication of not just which way the market's going, but when to get in and when to get out. It answers those three questions. And the beauty of this, gang, is it works repeatedly. It works over and over again. I don't care where you look on your chart. Look at, you can spot the low prices and the high prices here, can't you? Look at, if that low price is A and this high price is B, and we make a U-turn down here to a low price C, where is that low price? Well, it's pretty obvious. It lines up with the red trampoline. So that means we should be going from red to red in the future, and look where we go. Amazing. A, B, C, D. Then it does it again. A, B, C, D. Then it does it again. A, B, C, D. Do you see that? Look at, no matter when you do it, it's the same thing. A, B, right? C, D. This is how this market works. And all I need to know right now is that you can see the sequences. Right? If you can, listen, you're 90% of the way there. You're so close. But I got to know if you can see them. So at this point, you got to type A, B, C, D in the chat box. A, B, C, D in the chat box. All right? I got to know that you can see these because this is going to be the foundation of everything you do in the Forex market. All right, it's the foundation of everything we've been teaching here for 23 years because it works. Because this is the language of the Forex market. A, B, C, D. Look at that. Good. Thank you. Those of you that are typing it, you can see the sequences. All right, what you need to understand. All right, it works in this market. It works in all the currencies. Okay, not just the one I'm showing you. Doesn't matter which one I show you. The Forex market follows ABCD patterns in all of them. And my favorite part is it works in all the time frames. Okay? Not just the day chart, right? I can show you an hourly chart. I'm going to do that in a second, right? A 10-minute chart, a monthly chart. Doesn't matter. It works in all the currencies and all the time frames. This tool is going to help you, right? Because it makes the market measurable. Okay? Measurable. You'll love it because you'll see that this is all repeatable. That's the best part. You find something that works, this keeps doing it. All right, but my favorite part is the tool makes the market predictable. Okay, and all I'm going to do now, gang, is keep on showing it to you. Right, just a couple more run-throughs because the repetition is the mother of skill. You and I both know that. Okay, if you're new at this, let me do a couple of reps. All right, that's still going to be like money in the bank for you because you're going to see that it continues to work and you're going to gain in your understanding. Okay, and the fact of the matter is, I don't care which of these I pick. I don't care which currency I pick or what time frame. It's always going to be about the same. Look at. See this? Look here, monthly chart, euro, high price, low price, right? What happens here? Rebound to a high price. So I found letter C. Where's that? Red trampoline, right? Where's it supposed to go? Red to red, and look at it. Goes there exactly and then changes direction. Holy cow, that thing works. Gang, it works over and over again. You understand that? It works in both directions. Again, I don't care where I put my sequence. All right? What happens here? I got A to B. I pull back down here, this time to the green line. You see this? The green trampoline. And what happens? Well, I should bounce off of that and go to the green line. Right? Green to green in the future. And look, as soon as it completes the sequence, A, B, C, D, little change of direction, we start it again. So this works in up markets, it works in down markets, and now I've just got to add a couple of little things so that you're ready to speak our language and Josh's language a little bit in that trading room at 7 o'clock. Okay? I've only got to add a couple little pieces to the puzzle so you're sure to be speaking our language. And there's a couple of words I want you to know. Some of you probably know these already, but I'm going to put them on the screen anyway. Support and resistance, if I can spell it right. Okay? You got to know what those are. Right? You got to know what a breakout is, especially in this market. All right? Then, all right, I need you to know the word sequence, and my favorite word of all is going to be repeat because it works over and over. Check it out. All right? This is a candlestick chart. All right? It happens to be look at this, the pound yen, right, on the 2-hour chart. So now we're shrinking our time frame. Okay? All I need to do at this point is bring the chart alive so that I can use the information to make a decision. Okay? Now what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to start by drawing some trend lines. Okay? Now if you're not familiar with these, you come in the trading room, we'll do it a couple times till you get good at it. But the fact of the matter is drawing trend lines isn't hard. It's like connect the dots. All right? You see this? That is a good trend line. Why? Well, because it's reliable. Right? Every time the market comes up to that trend line, what happens? Reliably, it sells off. See that? Comes up to that trend line. Here, let me look. Comes up to the trend line, sells off. Comes up to the trend line, crashes down. Comes up, sells off again. So what's happening? It's acting on the market like a ceiling. Okay? Market comes up to it, can't push through the ceiling. Well, that's known as resistance. Okay? Well, that makes sense, of course. Right? Now, what do we got over here? Just the opposite. I can draw another trend line, right? Connect the dots again. All right? But this time it's telling a little bit of a different story. I'll keep it basic because it is. Okay? But it's an important part of the story, okay? Because why? This trend line's acting just the opposite. Now instead of acting like a ceiling, what's happening? It's acting like a floor, okay? Market comes down to the floor, bounces up. Comes down to the floor, bounces up. Comes down to the floor, bounces up. Well, what do we call that? Well, we call that support. If it's a floor, right, what's the floor doing underneath you? It's supporting your chair. It's supporting your feet, right? Well, the trend line supports the price. Okay, so now you know what support and resistance look like. Okay, well, what's going on right here? Let me explain that. Okay, you see this right here where we would, and I'll clean this up a little so it's just not in the way because we got to tell this part of the story. This is a big one. Okay, you see this right here. What happened here? Well, where we would have anticipated the market to crash back down again, come up to the ceiling and crash back down, what happened? Just the opposite. It crashed up through the ceiling. It broke out. You see this? That, when you break through a floor or a ceiling, that's called a breakout. Write that down. All right, I'm going to make that bold type. Why? Because when you see a breakout, that's when you're going to spring into action. What's going to follow that is a strong move. Close. A strong move. Okay? And I'm going to make exclamation points, and I'm going to make dollar signs, because this is an opportunity for you to make money. All right, when you see a breakout, you have to spring into action. And what are you going to do? You're going to break out with your sequence, the tools, the knowledge that I showed you, so you can turn it into a profitable enterprise. Okay, what have I shown you? Well, your sequence, A, B, C, D. That's your knowledge. Okay, what's the tool I showed you? Well, your Fibonacci tool. So you've got these things in your arsenal. Now it's time to put them to good use. Watch what you're going to do. All right, and here, I'm going to go ahead and magnify this a little bit so you can see it exactly. All right, once you see that breakout, okay, you're going to start your sequence at the low price. That's letter A. Okay, there it is, letter A. What happens? Market rushes up to a high price, letter B. Then what happens? The market fades down to a low price, okay, then it bounces. All right, so what do you got here? You got an A, a B, and a C. Okay, that's your sequence. Come up here and get your tool, get your pen out, draw the line from A to B, and you'll be able to see this first sequence. What happened? The market pulled back down to a low price, which lines up, not incidentally, right, with a Fibonacci number. That's not a mistake, right? The chief will tell you when you work with him, and you'll have a chance to work with him. Look, if you want to work with the top person here, you're going to have a chance to do that without a doubt. He wants to work with you your first month to make sure that you get this formula. And he'll explain that what all these individual Fibonacci numbers are about. But what do you want to know right now? You just want to know if the thing works. Well, in this case, what happened? We bounced from a red line up to a red line, and we completed the sequence, A, B, C, D. You all can see that. Now, what good was that? None, right, to you in terms of money making, but what you've just done is confirmed that we are moving to the upside. Now, what do? Now, gang, comes my favorite word, repeat. Watch this, okay? This sequence is going to repeat itself, okay? What you're going to do is roll your energy forward. What do I mean? Well, you got a low price here, right? Well, old C, right, is going to become new A, okay? You also got a high price here. Where is it? There it is. So that becomes your new B. Okay? You got A and B, and what's happened? You've pulled back down to a low price. Now you got a U-turn. Now watch this. Okay? Now you got a U-turn. Okay? Somebody just typed, it can't be this simple. Well, what can I tell you? Put it on your desk and find out. All right? A lot of people see this, and it's their first time, and they're baffled by it. Because it's mesmerizing, because it's awesome, and let's just see if it works. All right, let's just keep putting it to the test, because that's the best way to test anything. The market pulls back down to what? A red area, red trampoline. That means we're bouncing off of it, and we're not going to stop till we get to 142. Okay, where are we right now? 140.47. So that's a difference of what? 153 pips. Okay, again, you get to decide, micro, mini, standard, right, what size you want to trade on this. But I mean, I'm showing you that it works repeatedly, right? If you do a one-lot trade, you're looking at making $1,500, okay? But any size you trade with this, what are you looking at? 76%, right? Anybody be happy with that. So what am I going to tell you to do? Buy the currency. Buy it right here. Off that high candle, buy it right here. Just buy it. Buy it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Joe, that's easy for you to say. Right? You're gonna yell buy at me, and it's my money, right? And if you're thinking that, it's okay, because what's on your mind right now? Well, anybody can jump in and buy something, but the second you do, okay, everything below you becomes risk, okay? You don't like risk. We don't like risk either, okay? So what do you have to do when it comes to protecting your downside? I'm going to fill in this last gap right now. This is the last piece of the puzzle. Right? Anybody can go buy something. You come over here, you click on the trading button, you click on buy. All right, you're going to have your account linked right up to the software, so this is going to be a one-click operation. All right, or you can set it up manually so you can trade 10 cents, $1, $10 at a time. Okay, we'll show you how to do that part. All right, but what you're also going to do at the instant you place a buy order is you're going to place what's called a stop order. Okay, a stop order to build a floor underneath your trade. okay, to protect your downside. And the beauty of this is, all right, you know ahead of time what your risk is before you push the button. Okay, what do I mean? Well, look, no matter where you put your stop, even if it's arbitrary, all right, you're going to be reducing risk. Let me just throw a stop up anywhere. All right, what I've just done is I've gotten rid of all this risk. You understand that? Okay, but the key is, all right, the key is I don't want you placing your stop in an arbitrary place. All right, I want you to place a stop for sure. And the beauty of it in this market, because why? It's liquid and it's open around the clock. Your stops in this market are automatic. Okay, when you place a stop in this market, you don't have sweaty palms. You can walk away, go to the store, go drop your kids off at school, live your life, because in this market, your downside is protected. Remember, I told you it's a liquid market, it's automatic, it trades through every price. You understand that? So there is no, there's no nasty gap, right, when you place a stop in this market. But where do I want you to place it? All right, that depends on you. That depends on whether you are a conservative or aggressive trader. Okay? Now, most of the traders that trade with our group are conservative. Okay? What does that mean? They're going to place their stop at letter C. C for conservative. Okay? They want to take as little risk as possible, right, to make as much as possible. Now, that makes sense. Yeah, that's conservative trading. And that's absolutely fine, and that plays right into the Fibonacci pattern. But some traders, right, are going to be aggressive. Where are they going to place their stop? A little lower. They're going to place their stop way down here at letter A. At letter A. Now, why would they do that? Why would they place their stop at letter A? Here's why. Because they know something. Yes, that's more risk. I told you it's an aggressive style. But what traders who trade Fibonacci's know, and if you didn't know this before, maybe this is new information, but I want you to write it down. Okay? What traders that trade Fibonacci's know is this cardinal rule. If the market pulls back, okay, and it does not break the letter A, in other words, when the market pulls back, if it doesn't pull back down below the A, right, write this down, it has no choice but to go your way. It has no choice but to go your way. The market has no choice but to bounce higher and complete the sequence. How do you know that? That's just how this works. All right? So in this case, what happens? Well, I don't care where you set your stop, right? You're going to have a downside protection. Then you're going to go forward and you're going to look to make 153 pips. And what happens? Go forward in time. Higher lows, higher highs, until what? Until you complete the sequence. Red line, there it is. There it is. A, B, C, D. You made 153 pips. How long did it take? Well, this is a 2-hour chart. Okay, the last time we made what? A couple of hundred pips in 5 days. In this case, you made it. I've got a measuring tool. Let me count it. Right? You made that in 8 bars, 16 hours. So that's about $100 an hour, and the heaviest thing you had to lift was your index finger to click the mouse on the buy button and the sell button. Okay? Why do you think people love trading? And there's not too many places you can even talk about making 76%, okay, in a day. But this is one of them, and you were protected the whole time. That is how you do this. And again, if you're interested in this at all, okay, and you want to add this thing to your arsenal, then type in a number. Either me or one of my traders that's here, right, is going to give you a buzz when we break. Okay, so let's make that happen if that's something you're interested in. Who's 717 area code? Trader NA. All right, good. I've got your number. Perfect the way you did it. All right, but look, again, what did I say here? I said that the fun part of this market is that it repeats itself. Well, look what happens. All right, as you go forward, right, what does happen? Here, as you go forward, it's obvious you find that high price. That's where letter D was. Okay, well, now you have a low and a high, right? You got a old C becomes new A, old D becomes new B. Okay, and take a look. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put my Fibonacci's right on that, and now what am I going to do? Now I'm waiting for letter C. All right, I'm going to wait for letter C again. Do I know when it's going to show up? I really don't. All right, but I'm going to be paying attention. When I come home from work, I'm going to turn on my Forex charts. I'm going to poke around, and I know that I'm looking for a defined U-turn. I know that I'm looking for where this thing bounces. Okay, and I'm going to give this to you in the simplest way possible because this is your foundation. When you see a U-turn, you're going to understand very quickly where letter C is. It's when that candle closes in the shape of the letter U, and there it is. Okay, so now what have you done? You found letter C, And where is it? Pretty obvious. Once again, we're bouncing off of a Fibonacci number. It happens to be a red one, which means what? We're going up to that red line. Now at this point, all right, I know what's happening. Now at this point, you want this to work. All right, at first it was I'm going to sit with my arms folded and see if it works. Okay, but now that I've seen this happening over and over again, I want this to work. Okay, in this case, if it does, where are we going? From 142.22 to 144, let's just call it 144 plain. All right, that's still going to be 178 pips. 178 pips if this works. What are you going to do? You're going to hit the buy button. You're going to make sure you set your stop. I don't care if you're conservative or aggressive. You're going to trade with a stop. Okay, and then what do? You wait for higher lows and higher highs, gang, and you'll see if it completes the sequence. And I guess when you see that it does this enough, okay, you're going to have the confidence to push the button on this thing yourself. All right, this is not complicated, and it doesn't have to be. I think too many people, right, want to complicate trading. You know who the best traders I ever knew were? Simple people that did things repeatedly. All right, that's what we're all looking for. We're looking for something that works. Well, I'll tell you what are you looking for now? Something that repeats itself. Now watch what happens here. Once that sequence repeats, okay, what are we doing? Well, now we've got a low price and a high price again, all right? And we're going to wait for, right, hold on, we're going to wait for the next letter C. We're going to wait for that next pullback. And here it is, obviously. All right, we got a pullback, so what are we doing, Joe? Don't we want to get our Fibonacci's out? Hold on. Because look what happened, okay? Look what happened here. Remember support and resistance? Look what happened, all right? While we were waiting for letter C to appear, look at this market, which had been bouncing. What happened? It broke support. The market broke down. So what does that mean? Well, that means you got a breakout, all right? You've got a breakout, but it's in the other direction. All right, so now instead of trading this to the upside for profit, we're going to look to trade this for the downside for profit. You got a breakout, you got a strong move. All right, you got to be prepared to break out with your sequence. Now, what are you going to do? You look for a low price and a high price. All right, there, low price, high price. Watch this. You're going to draw your Fibonacci's, but instead of drawing it from bottom up, you're going to draw it from top down. All right, top down. There it is. Okay, what happened? The market retraced up to a high price. In this case, look at it lines up with the green trampoline. All right, now instead of a red Fibonacci trampoline, we got a green one, which means what? Which means if this works the way that I'm telling you, this thing should go from green to green in the future. So now D is out here. My current price is what? 142.33. Let me get a calculator on this one. Okay, because I'm going to ask you a serious question. I'm at 142.33. According to this, the green line is 139.65. 139.65 minus 139.65. So the difference is 268 pips. Here's my question for you. Okay, 268 pips. If I can show you this thing going down to the green line, will you give yourself a shot at it? I'm asking you seriously. If I can show you that this thing goes down to the green line, because I mean I keep showing you trades that work. Okay, that was 178. This is the one before was 153. So that's 330 pips in a week, right? Add this to it, 330 and 265, 600 pips I would have been able to show you. Okay, and I mean even if you got half of that, you'd make yourself $3 grand in a week, right? So my question for you is, if I can show you that thing go to the green line, right, where one lot trade would be worth about $2,700, will you at least give yourself a shot at this? Some of you just said yes. Well, then let me show it to you. I already know what's going to happen, okay? Because once you identify that, right, it becomes lower highs, lower lows. Don't forget you're protected the whole time, right, either at C or A. You put your stop in, and what happens, okay? Market comes down and continues to make lower highs and lower lows until it completes the sequence, and then no shock, it changes direction because you're going to start another sequence. All right, A, B, C, D, it works over and over. Like I said, I don't care which direction you go. When you change direction, what happens? The same thing. A, B, C, D. Okay, red line, change of direction. Okay. This is the key. For some of you, this is going to be a game changer in your life. All right, and now you're ready to use this. There's even smart tools where you can now take what you just learned and you can do an analysis in a few seconds. Okay, look at the Euro Australian 1 hour. This will be your first trade. Okay, you pull this up, you got a high price. What do I want you to do? Come over here to the smart tools. You see the one that says smart trend line? You don't even have to draw the trend line. You come here and click the high price. Watch this. It'll draw it for you. All right, what do you have here? Let me extend it. You've got a market, right, that was a ceiling. Now we've broken out, and now that same trend line has become the floor, and we've bounced up off the floor. So now what? Well, now, right, we want to see the Fibonacci sequences. I don't even have to draw them. I got another smart tool for that. Okay, you see this one that says A, B, C, D under our logo? Okay, watch this. When I click on the low price, it draws all the sequences in order for me. This is the current one. Okay, but look, let's just make sure that it works. Watch this. You can't tell me this is a mistake. You can't tell me that the market went from A to B, pulled back down to this low price, right, and went where? Well, let's see, right? Red line, exactly, and then change direction. Come on, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. Where are we now? Well, we've got our pullback. Please pay attention to this one. Because look, we go red to red on the Euro Australian. We're going to 141.37. All right? Very little risk because you're going to set your stop at C. But if you're at 139 and you go to 141.31, you're looking at 231 pips. Okay? Don't say I didn't give you something that you can sink your teeth into. And I know you can do this. All right, I know you can do it. I can show you a couple of hundred pips. Here, I can show you 700 pips, pound Canadian, day chart. Write it down. All right, nobody else is going to give you this much all day today. All right, but I've showed you something that works. Now I got to get you to the point to at least try it. Look at this. What do I got here? You already know. Isn't that a breakout? Isn't this a breakout? It is. So what do? I get my Fibonacci tool. I just find the low price. It shows me my current sequence. Now look at this. All right. That's it. I've got an awesome bounce right off of this red line. Where am I going? I go red to red. I'm going up there. All right, I got a nice looking low price that I can buy off of right here. 171.77. I'm at 163.77. That's 800 pips. 800 pips. Question. Do you think you could do this? Do you think you could? Do you think you're ready to do this? Let's put you to the test right now. All right, because look, I know you didn't catch everything that I said, but there's a checklist built into the program so that when you get it on your desk today, you just follow the steps. They're written in there, okay? You'll check the boxes to make sure you did it right, A, B, C, D, break out the Fibonacci tool and so forth. It'll tell you if you got it right because it'll grade your trade. It'll show you the probability of success on your trade. If it says 85, that's one you probably want to buy. Okay, if it says 25, well, then either you did something wrong or this is the wrong trade. Even the chief will tell you, go look for something else. But this will keep you, right, doing the right things, and it'll also help you to avoid the wrong ones. That's built into the program, all right? And I know that you're going to be confident with this quickly. In fact, I know you're ready to be in Josh's room. Want me to prove it to you? Let me let you listen to him right now, okay? Because he's going to take you through not 200 pips or 700 pips. He's going to walk you through right now 7,000, okay? You're ready for this? I know you are, right? Then I'll tell you how to get this on your desk as soon as he's done, all right? Let's have some fun with this, and if you want to take screenshots, do it. Get as many assets as you can, okay? Here, let me let you listen to Josh.
Hey everyone, Josh Martinez here. We're going to talk about the pound breakout prediction. It's a trading opportunity that could be worth upwards of 13,000 pips. With the mini launch, about $13,000 return. With a standard lot, it's a little bit over 130,000 US dollars. Now, when I look at this opportunity, I look at it as a weekly income producer, right around 500 pips a week. What I really like about that is at a mini lot, which is just a $200 investment per trade, 500 pips a week could be worth $500 a week, $2,000 a month. So it's fantastic income. With a standard lot, investors around $5,000 a week. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's go ahead and show you the risk disclaimer. It just means there's risk involved in trading the Forex market. You should never invest money you cannot afford to lose. Always keep equity management in mind. Understand that we're not CTAs, which stands for Commodity Trading Advisors. Okay, so The four currency pairs which I'm looking to trade off of are the pound yen, pound CAD, pound Aussie, and pound NZD. Let me go ahead and give you a nice little high-level view. Now, what's neat about these trading opportunities are what's considered year makers. And they have the opportunity to produce income throughout the entire year. And I know that we stated that there's about 13,000 pips to be had, but that's just like the short-term move. The long-term move is much more than that. And the reality of this is a pretty rare opportunity because we haven't seen moves like this, and it takes like about 5 to 10 plus years to get trades like this. Now, what I mean by that is this is the pound yen. This is the monthly time frame. Since 1993, the market's bounced between bottom blue level, top blue level, bottom blue level, top blue level. This is the fourth time since 1993. Over 20 years since the market over 20 years the market has held. And so the fact of the matter is we already broke the down enter counter trend line. We've already tested and we formed a level of support. And what that just basically means, this red line represents an area of U-turn. 1, 2, 3 months of U-turning. Now we touched it. Arguably, we're starting to form tweezer bottoms, which means this market's getting ready to rally. The fact of the matter is if this market begins to rally towards the north and goes all the way to the top, we're talking about 8,000, 9,000, almost 10,000 pips of directional upward movement over the next year to 2 years. Now, what's neat about that is, think about that, 10,000 pips. If you were to buy this with a $200 investment, that's $10,000 in return. If you were to buy this with a standard lot or an average investment $2,000, it's $100,000 in return. Now, if you think about that, you know, if you know that you're going to be buying a house in the next 2 to 3 years, if you know that your roof needs to be changed, or if you know that your children, maybe they're in high school and they're getting ready to go off to college, or maybe your daughter just got engaged, think about this. You buy this with a standard position, you know, maybe 2 lots, and you make $100,000 to $200,000 in return in the next 1 to 2 years. Now, what's neat about this is that we're going to be able to break this down at the smaller time frames and show the strategic weekly and monthly entries and weekly and monthly opportunities. We're going to be covering this every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time in-house. So either myself or another master trader is going to be doing it. Now, here's the pound CAD. The Great British Pound Canadian Dollar created a very beautiful range where it touches the bottom blue level, the market rallies, touches the top blue level, market falls. If you know about Fibonacci's, then you know that we love to utilize them here, and they're very strong. If this market were to break the support level, we'll expect this market to fall all the way down to the 1.618D extension. That's about a 4,500 pip move. If the market bounces at support and rallies towards north, it's about a 3,600 pip move. Realistically, we don't really care if the market's going to either break bullish or break bearish. We just need the market to break out of this little box. This is what we're calling this our pound breakout, because on the Great British Pounds across the board, you can see that we've created these little ranges. And this is the pound Aussie. There's a little range, and the pound Aussie is same exact scenario as at the bottom support where it breaks bullish is 4,700 pips. That's over $47,000 of the standard position. If it breaks bearish, heads to the D extension, it's over 4,900 pips. At a mini lot, it's almost $5,000 in return. And our last but not least, the pound NZD, very, very clean currency pair. This one is postured to go up big time. Even if it does fall bearish towards the D extension, we'll still expect it to rally and bounce up towards the north. So this is a really great currency pair as well. So hey everyone, you know, this is Josh Martinez. I didn't want to make this a huge drawn-out video. We get into the details of the trading opportunities inside our Tuesday night presentations. Actually, in our client-only presentations, we monitor these on a weekly basis. We show entry, stops, limits. We explain what the step-by-step process is, how to appropriately manage the trades. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And on that note, every day, helping traders find a way. It's Joshua Martinez out.
Totally awesome. It doesn't matter which way it breaks. You are set and poised to take advantage of it. And the beauty of it is you understood every bit of that. All right, and the fact of the matter is between now and 7 o'clock, what you need to do is get this thing on your desk so you can play with it and mess with it, right, so you're absolutely ready to take this knowledge and turn it into some action. So here's what you can do, all right, to get this on your desk today with all the auto Fibonacci tools included, what you need is a username and a password. All right, we'll get that right out to you. If you want to review this between now and tonight, because I know we moved quickly, all right, what you've got right here built into the program under the services button is this thing that says education. Built in, all right, once you put in your username and password, check this out. you've got a tutorial that's one click away. Who teaches it? The chief, okay? And it's everything that we went through, all right? What's the Forex? We did that, lesson 1. Support and resistance, that's those floors and ceilings, right? That's lesson 2. Okay, then it gets to the Fibonacci numbers, the ABCDs, right? You know what you do here, right? Fibonacci uptrends, downtrends, I showed you that too, all right? With each of these, there's a video. So maybe what you do is you call in your spouse, or you call in your kids, or you get your neighbor, or your brother-in-law, or your buddy, and you say, come on over the house. Let me show this to you, what I saw today. We'll do it together. All right, you go through the videos. If you need to press the pause button while you're taking notes, that's always fine. All right, then you press the play button and you keep going. Equity management, where do you place your stop, A or C? The Japanese candlesticks. We did all of this today, okay? But this comes one click away with the program, so you can review it between now and tonight. Now, normally, software's $249 a month, okay? But if you want to get this on your desk today, to try it out, test it out, make sure the darn thing works. You want to get on this team today, I'll give you the software for 2 months for free so you can do that. All right, but what you need to do at this point is let me know that that's something you want to do. All right, in the chat box, you got to give me a way to reach you. All right, and at the end, right, I'm going to reach out to you, or one of my traders, one of my education specialists is. We're going to dot I's and cross T's. You got questions, we'll get them answered. Right, and good, because it's going to be a big group. It always is. So the first person that puts in their numbers, the first person that gets the call. Charlie, I got your number. James, I've got your number. Rob, I've got your number. That's perfect the way that you're doing it. All right, and understand, listen, if you need to even go into a 2-day class to get this formula under your belt, the chief is going to make sure that if you trade with us, that you have this formula. All right, you got to have it, and one way or the other, we're going to make sure that you do, so that you can get to this point. All right, apply your training. You know what that means? Let's go trade. Let's go make some money. All right, are other people doing this? You bet they are. Okay, are other people making pips? They let us know it every day on our Facebook page, and I always get a kick out of reading these, because you get people like Robbie, right, who is brand new. All right, a year ago, I didn't even know about this. First time in. Now I'm consistent. Now, look how casual he is about it. I made another 21% this week, right? There's only so many places you can even talk like that, all right? This is one of them. You found the right market, okay? Then what happens? You get out there and you apply the formula. It works. Chuck, one of my biggest skeptics, he tried it the first day, made himself a couple of pips. He came back again the second day, working with Josh, working with Tyson. Okay, getting to leverage their experience. You don't have to become the expert or reinvent the wheel if you've already got a couple that you can work with. And that's really, right, where the rubber meets the road, right? 400 pips, $1,000. This guy sent us his account statement, okay? Every day, look, thousands of people have already made this decision. Okay, every day they tell us how well they're doing, and we see it every day, right? But we actually know ahead of time how well people are doing. Why? Because we track it. All right, understand, when you place a trade through the program, right, we're able to see everybody and how many pips they're making. Okay, and our users just in the last 4 months, third-party verified by FXBook, have made 500,000 pips. So if this works for you, right, over the next couple months, even half as good as it did in the previous couple, you're going to be very, very impressed, okay? And all I got to ask you at this point is if I could teach you this, or better yet, if MTI could teach you this skill set where you could take $2,000, right, investment per trade and make yourself several $1,000s month after month after month, all right? Would you let us teach you and coach you and mentor you and train you, right, guide you, give you all of our tools, right? Let you go live with us every single day, even give you a guarantee on top of that, right? Would you let us teach you that, yes or no? Because this program is called the Ultimate Traders Package on Demand, all right? And what is it? It's the most complete and easy to use step-by-step Forex system on the planet, all right? Let me tell you all what's involved when you become a student here at MTI. First of all, it's lifetime education, okay? It never goes away. You have unlimited access to this for the rest of your life, okay? So you can do this at a pace that makes sense to you. We've got live events that we do every couple of weeks. We have students from all over the world that attend them. You can do these live or online, and understand something. These live classes are free once you're on board as a student, All right, you can do them as many times as you want for the rest of your life, and you also have unlimited access to that online tutorial, right? The online university that I showed you, that's available 24/7. There's even an app for it. Okay, so you can download it, put it right on your iPhone. You carry the Chief around in your pocket. It is exceptional. All right, now we'll provide you with the software. Okay, all the automation that I showed you, all the tools that I showed you, and even though I didn't have a chance to show you all the automation, I want you to understand, once you're comfortable with the formula, once you're comfortable with the performance, the results, what you can do is automate this so it will watch the market for you, all right? And when it finds one of those breakouts, A, B, C, D, it'll send you a text message. So you can go live your life, you can go do those work things and church things and other family commitment things, but when your phone rings, right, dude, I got a text message, the yen is breaking out, that's when you're able to spring into action. So you can participate, but you're not tied to the market. Okay, that is totally awesome. Of course, you get the checklist, all right? That's going to help you today so that you can do things right out of the gate. So now you got your education. Okay, now you got your software. Now what do? Now the rubber meets the road when you go do it. Okay, really the mentorship is what sets our group apart from anybody else. Okay, fact of the matter is every single day, 2 or 3 different times a day, we have live market trading sessions, so that you can come and trade live with Josh or Tyson or Chief. Okay, and the fact of the matter is you'll be able to apply this. We schedule those at staggered times so that at least one of those a day is going to fit into your schedule. All right, like I said, Chief's going to work with you the first month to make sure you got this thing in your back pocket, and anytime you want to trade, anytime with our group, you'll never ever trade alone. Okay, and here's the beauty of this program. All right, we are so confident in this program. We've been teaching it 23 years. Okay, we're so confident that not only can we teach it to you, but that you can learn it and do it, all right, and be successful with it, that we are literally going to give you the entire program, okay, risk-free for the next 60 days. This way you don't have to sit here and just take my word for this, okay? You can take it today, load it right up on your computer, all right, and have the chance to see it work. Then you decide if it's the right program for you, because let's face it. All right, at the end of the day, the only person you're really going to trust is yourself. All that we ask is that you give this an honest effort. So when you get down to this, all right, the value of the program is massive. All right, actually, it's almost $14,000. And if you go to my website, you'll see the value of the program, all the individual components. Okay, the software, the training, the education, the mentorship, all the support, all right, the server costs, the software development, all that value is built in here. All right, and it's awesome. But to get started with the program, listen, there's a couple of ways you can do it. One of them is going to work for you, and it's not $14,000, okay? You'll get all of that in value, okay? But stick with me just for another minute, because I'm going to find a way for you personally to get started with this program. There's a couple of ways to do it, and I can save you a ton of money, all right? The first way is you can always go to my website, all right, markettraders.com. When you go there, what you're going to see is the value of the program. But what we've done at the website is this. We bundled everything together. And anytime you bundle, what happens? You just save time and money, right? That just makes sense. You can go to my website anytime you want. MasterCard, Visa, American Express, or Discover. You can get the program, and it's not $14,000, all right? With the bundle, it's about half of that. All right, you can go online, get it anytime you want. You have it for the rest of your life. So why did I just put a big line through it? Here's why. Because today we're going to do it different. Today, because of the time you spent with me, you're ready to hit the ground running. Okay? You are so close to being able to do this, and I want to give you full value for the time that you just spent here. So here's what I'm going to do. All right? I'm going to take $2,000 off the online retail for the program, meaning you can get started today for a one-time, and this is lifetime investment of $59.95. Okay? And it's real easy to get started. Okay, this is $2,000 off the online retail. It's a 25% savings. And to get started, all you have to do is put your name and telephone number in the chat box. All right, when we break, like I said, either myself or one of my education specialists is going to reach out to you. We're going to spend all the time with you that you need. We're going to answer any and all questions that you have, and then you're off to the races. Okay, the only problem you're going to have with this program is that you didn't see this thing 6 months ago and get started back then. All right. Now, somebody just asked me, do you have a payment plan? As a matter of fact, yes, we do. Right. That's something we offer. All right. What that allows you to do is just put a small amount down. And what we'll do with the rest is we'll just spread it out over time. So that is something that we offer. All right. And the fact of the matter is a lot of people like that because it gives them a little flexibility. You can pay as you go. We'll customize a plan for you that fits your budget that's absolutely affordable. Okay, so at this point, all right, you got to remember that 7 o'clock is the session with Josh, right? As a bonus today, I told you to be able to work with the chief. If you enroll, all right, I want you to understand that the chief doesn't just want to work with you for a day, okay? When you enroll, you're going to get to work with him, the founder of the company, for your first month in his trading room. It's called the Chief's Trading Room, okay, where you can trade side by side with the person that invented this whole thing. All right, that's going to get you fast-tracked even quicker. He's averaging over 2,000 pips a week in that room. Now, normally that's $500 a month subscription. That's going to be included today. So if you got a few questions, let's get them answered, okay? Any of you that put your number in the chat box, though, with the word chief next to it, you're going to be learning right from the founder of the company. So Chris and Miriam, Elias, Ian, I've got your number. Robert A., I've got yours. That's perfect. Jason says chief. Good for you. Eric says chief. That's perfect. I've got your number as well. All right. Let me give you an idea of exactly what's going to happen. All right. And I'll even give you a little additional value. First and foremost, okay, charting software, right, normally goes for $249 a month. And what did I say earlier? 2 months? No. I'm going to give you 6 months of the charting software for free when you enroll. I'm going to plan for your success with the program. All right, I don't want you worried about $249 a month. I want you worried about learning this formula because that's going to be your game changer. Okay, so today I'll include 6 months of the charting. All right, day traders, those of you that want to do the 10 and 15-minute charts, I didn't have time to demo those. But what I'm going to do, all right, for you especially, I know you want to trade the shorter terms. This piece right here is normally an add-on, the Turbo Trader, right? That's going to help my day traders specifically. All right, normally it goes for $1,000. We'll show you how to use it, all right, but I'm going to include that for free today, all right? We'll just take you on a walkthrough of that when you get started. That's going to help you if you're a day trader, all right? Everybody's going to get it, but I know my day traders will really like that, all right? Trading with the chief for a month, trading with Josh, and listen, if you do a one-time payment, look, I'll give you a year of the charts for free. So understand, that's an additional almost $5,000 in value, and now's when I really need to hear from you. Okay, some of you have already told me you want to do a payment plan, and that's fine. Okay, some of you I'm sure are okay doing a one-time payment. If you think you're leaning towards the one-time payment, okay, and you want to get that immediate $2,000 discount plus a year of the charts, here's what I want you to do. Type in the letter A next to your phone number. Okay, now understand, if you type in the letter A, I'm not telling you that you're absolutely committed right now this second to this program. We're going to help you. All right, all we're saying is that if we get your questions answered, all right, we show you the warranty, right, and this makes sense to you, that you have the ability, or you can find the ability to make a one-time payment. So please, only type the letter A if you're in a position to do that, but whether or not you come on board, all right, that's yet to be determined. Okay, now on the other hand, next to your phone number, I want you to type the letter B if you think you're more likely to do a payment plan. Now, with the letter B, you get that online bundle price. So it's still an awesome savings, but what you get with that is flexibility. What are you going to do? You're going to just put a small amount down, right? But that gets the ball rolling. You still get all the pieces that come with the program, and what we do with the balance is we spread out the rest, like I said. But either way you do this, gang, you got 60 days. All right, we don't want you to use the program for 10 or 15 days. All right, we want you to give it a full shot, not for 30 or 45 days. Our warranty says take this whole thing for 60 days. Okay, try it out, test it out, make sure that it works. All right, make sure that it works for you. Come to the class. You can come as many times as you want. You can bring a guest to that if you want to. All right, use the program. Come trade with us every day, right, for the next 60 days. And at the end of that time, that's when you're going to make a final decision on this. And it's going to be an easy one. Okay, if you see the results, if you see the opportunity going forward, if you see that this works and you found something, all right, what are you going to do? It's just natural. You're going to keep it, all right, and you're going to trade with us the rest of your life. Okay, but what if after 60 days you decide, right, that this isn't for you? What if you decide, no matter how well it works, that the Forex just isn't your cup of tea? It's okay. In writing, what it says is we'll refund every penny that you paid for the program just for giving it a try. Okay? Your downside is zero. Your upside is phenomenal. Whether you're an A or a B, you're going to get a full Forex education. That's for sure. In fact, that starts this week, right? And if you want to get into my class this week, I've still got a little bit of room. All right? Come to the 2-day class. That's a great day to do live trading, a great day to hone your skills, pick up a couple of strategies. There's an instructor right there. And by the time you're done with this, all right, you are flat out going to know how this market works and be able to trade it successfully. Okay? Come to the class this week. All right, you're going to get a full Forex education, and you're going to be able to do it under warranty. And a bunch of you have already responded. Because I've only got 11 seats left, let me just make sure, all right, that I'm going to do that on a first-come, first-served basis. Because, Rich, I've got your number. Roger, I've got yours too, right? Who else? Shan, I've got yours. All right, Richard, I've got yours too. So I've got at least 5 or 6 of those seats left, but those are going quick. And I'll tell you what, if you want to guarantee yourself a seat, here, as we wrap up, look at, call that number. If you want to guarantee a seat in this week's class, call that number, okay? Instead of having us call you, all right? This will save you some time because I'll let you jump to the front of the line, all right? But I'll tell you what else. If you call that number, right, I'll save you an additional $500, all right? I'll give you an instant $500 scholarship if you're calling in, but do me a favor. Let me know that you're calling in so I can write down 500 right next to your name, okay? That's just action being rewarded. If you're ready to get started, let me get you into the class, and I'll save you a few bucks. You put that in your Forex account. You start trading a couple mini lots, okay? So, Diane, good. You're calling in. You see that? Perfect. Just type it in the chat box if you're going to call me, all right? And whether you start with an A or a B, I'll save you an instant $500, okay? So I got 4 of those left, right? And, again, you get the education, all right? That's really worth the entire program. When you get down to it, all right, knowing how the market works and being able to see it with that clarity, that's huge. All right, and you'll have that for the rest of your life. Once you learn this, you never have to learn it again. You're going to own it, okay? And no matter how you learn, even if it's on an app, we got you covered, all right? Then what? Then you got the software. Look, I haven't even scratched the surface of that software. I showed you the basics, okay? But when you start to see especially how that automation works, you can automate this whole thing. We'll show you how. Right? No, it's not a black box. Okay? A black box is here, this works, go ahead, but you can never see inside it. We will not tell you that it works, we'll show you that it does. And then when it's time, you go ahead and push the buttons, you can automate the whole thing. Plus you got the checklist, so you're doing things right starting today. And then, my favorite, come trade with us. All right? This is what everybody wants. I got to find some people that I can leverage their experience. Well, come trade with us on a Monday. All right? See if we make money. Then come trade with us on Tuesday. See if we make money. You can put us to the test. You got 60 days, right? Come trade with us again. You're going to be able to see that it works, but I bet by Thursday or Friday you're going to get tired of watching us make pips. You're going to want to go make some for yourself. This is how you meld into the team, and that's going to be a relationship that you can carry forward. Kevin Harrington saw it. Okay? The shark people don't come near stuff unless it's got weight. Okay, this is the kind of association that you'll have. You don't have to know everything to get started. Look, John didn't know everything. He says it. I didn't know everything, right? And the chief said, relax. You can learn it as you go. Okay, you'll trade as you go. But this is a good opportunity for you to get started. All right, so let me know what you're thinking. Option A or option B, as I wrap this up right now, I want to tell you, all right, that warranty comes with it. And those of you that are saying to yourself, well, I want to get started. I can do that. A, B, C, D, it sure looks like it works. Up markets, down markets, but I'm a little hung up on the money part. Okay, for those of you that are serious about this, and the only thing that's keeping you is the money part, give me another 30 seconds, because I can help with that, but I can only help if you're serious. What do you mean? Well, I can help you with this, gang, but you've got to make sure that you don't waste our time, okay? Because I got a way that I can help you with the money problem, because I can get this for you for a little less. How much less? Well, what if it was a whole lot less, like free? Would that sort of get you off of the fence and get you to give yourself a shot at this or give this a try? Because I'm going to tell you something, all right? I've got a couple of ways you can get this for free. And I know what you're thinking. Come on, a minute ago it was $6,000. Right now it's free. Look, I got 2 ways you can get it free. I got a tuition reimbursement program. I got a referral program. There's always a way to do something if you want it bad enough. All right? And what you need to do at this point is, if you're serious about this, okay, I want you to type your phone number in the chat box and put the word free next to it. All right? And we'll get the ball rolling. I told you I'd figure out a way to get every one of you started with this program. And if that's all it took, well, I guess I just took your excuse away. Okay? But you got to promise me that you're not going to type your number in and waste time. All right? I didn't waste anybody's time today. At least I hope I didn't, man. I think you learned something. I think you saw something. You got a couple of awesome takeaways today. This was worth your time. All right? Imagine what you're going to learn in my 2-day class if you got this much from me in an hour and a half. Okay? Fact of the matter is, all right, I can only give you another 15 seconds because Renee is telling me, Joe, your time's up. All right? And your time's up too. You got to make a decision. But however you do it, my group that's already getting started, I'm excited for you. All right? Those of you that just put in free, thank you for that, right? Good. Don't you dare log out without at least putting in an A, a B, or a free. And I want to say thank you to all of you.